Hello everyone, welcome back for some more thrift store finds and Goodwill bargain bins. Starting off with a bunch of really cool vintage books, getting to some other stuff, some DVDs and VHS at the end as well. This I really liked. This is cool. This 1882 Farm Ballads. This is a really cool find in itself, in really good condition. But inside, we also have someone just kind of stuck in there a genuine 1911 agricultural almanac, and so there's a couple postcards in there and a recipe stuck in there, as well as this advertisement for coffee. So lots of cool little things in there as well. And that was just kind of an interesting find. I love finding stuff like that. Things that are well over 100 years old and were definitely used, and it's really cool. Then a first edition hardcover Watership Down. That was a good find as well. We have Jacob's Ladder, North of 36. Walks and Talks in Numberland. This is a really cool vintage book all about numbers, like really young elementary school age kids learning basic mathematics. Nice vintage book. This is an interesting 3 adventure novels. This is a nice collection in here that we have by H. Rider Haggard, the complete text of King Solomon's Mines, She, and Alan Quartermain. So that is really cool. Nice little adventure story collection. Vintage copy of Steinbeck's Sweet Thursday. The Eagle Has Landed. And Ethel Barrymore, Girl Actress. The Robe. A few spiral-bound notebooks here. We have Cookbook, Nutritious Cooking, The Waterless Way. So a few vintage ones there, as well as River Road Recipes. This was kind of cool. Book 2 of the Wizard Knight duology by Gene Wolfe, The Wizard. I remember reading these back in the day. They were pretty good, getting those from the library. One of the Netflix covers of The Witcher, Blood of Elves. One manga, Beasts of Abigail. Never heard of this one before. One manga, one of the couple kids' books with I Survived, some Lemony Snicket, some vintage little golden books, some Harry Potter. A nice stack of these Star Wars kids books. I've been finding this series, this particular hardcover, the Story Reader, I think it is, the Story Reader, Me Reader series. For some reason, the last couple months, I've been finding a lot from that series. Never really before, but all of a sudden, I don't know, maybe it's gone out of style. They sell, so I guess not. But interesting, just randomly been finding a lot of those. A vintage Sesame Street, I Have a Friend. Some Choose Your Own Adventure. A real old I Can Read book. This was kind of cool with this lenticular cover. Giant 3D fairy tale books. This Hansel and Gretel. Hopefully that's showing up at least a little bit. So this was actually kind of cool. It's that creepy sort of doll art that I just always thought was kind of weird as a kid. But I remember seeing, I don't know if it was this particular series, but just looking at the way they're structured, I feel like I remember seeing ones kind of like this before. But it was really interesting to see how the lenticular cover. The Disney Family Story Collection, big hardcover collection of kids' stories, and Stephen King with Rose Madder. Homeward My Heart, a Beverly Cleary collection. Some vintage Nickelodeon Rugrats, More Jokes. I'm a Big Girl Now, the First Years vintage collection. The Treehouse Mystery. Some more little golden books with Tom and Jerry and Corky. Little Mermaid. Joe and Betsy the Dinosaur. Light in August. And The Conscious Universe, Part and Whole in Modern Physical Theory. And then a huge stack. I love these Everbind books. Huge collection of these. I remember these from elementary school in particular. They really are just a way of having basically like a pocket, paperback style size book, but really hardy. Something that's going to last you a lifetime if you take care of it. So I just think these are really cool. I loved these as a kid. Yeah, I know some people really don't like them, but I just think it has sort of the convenience of the size of just a trade paperback, but has durability that is beyond even the normal hardcover release. So I don't know, I always really like these. It's a huge stack, a huge variety of stories, lots of classics, and then a few more like kind of kids books from 80s to early 90s. So just a huge selection of these I'll have to go through. I just thought those were cool, and when I saw them, I grabbed all of them. And one kind of oddball that I just found fascinating, but a vintage Sears lamp and appliance timer. That's just sort of a cool vintage electronic. Reminds me of another time. Then for records, randomly too, we don't find a whole lot, but this was sealed and was a Target exclusive, Motown #1. So since it was sealed, I went ahead and grabbed that. And music from The Unsinkable, Molly Brown, The Night of the Iguana, and Robin of the Seven Hoods, and other favorites. So don't really get a whole lot of records at this particular location, but they had a few that were worth grabbing, so I went ahead and took those. Some VHS with Vision Quest, all this older Warner Brothers clamshell. A few Danielle Steele movies I grabbed because they were still sealed. Remembrance and Zoya, I guess it is. Never heard that one in particular. And this one, another one that I grabbed just because it was sealed, but Shrek, Austin Powers, and Beverly Hills Cop. And getting into the DVD and Blu-rays, gonna round things off. Only one Blu-ray set, and I kept looking through the bin, could not find the rest of it, but part of the Batman 60s series on Blu-ray. It looks like all of season 2. All the discs are in there at least, so part of that on Blu-ray. And on DVD we have DuckTales the movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp. 2 different versions of Yoga Live, looks like with 2 different instructors, Jeffrey Cohen and Elena Brower. And 2 different Emmy consideration DVDs from the TV series Numbers. So I didn't look carefully to see if maybe they're from different years, maybe different seasons, but that was kind of cool. Waitress, Alabaster's Song, Coyote Ugly, Garden State, a triple feature of like family films with dogs because of Winn-Dixie, Firehouse Dog, and Marley and Me. Be Cool, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, Sherlock Holmes, Terminator Salvation, Made in Manhattan, Charlie Wilson's War. 2, I grabbed these because they were sealed, of this kids documentary series, the Emmy winner for Outstanding Children's Program. I have Tourette's, but Tourette's doesn't have me. So those were 2 of those, and those were sealed. Thought I'd add those. And this is another interesting one. Mr. Kruger's Christmas, starring Jimmy Stewart. I wonder if it's that Jimmy Stewart, and the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Okay, interesting. So I'll just actually check out that and see what that is. Sealed Chocolat. Ladder 49, part of the Decade You Were Born series of 50s. Christmas with the Cranks. The Great Debaters. Bridesmaids. Walk the Line. The Other Guys. Atonement. I've never seen this particular Spotlight series slipcover for Fever Pitch, just generic DVD release of Fever Pitch, but with this Spotlight series, kind of shimmery, reflective slipcover. Chorus Line, and Couples Retreat. So that was it for today. Just went out on a busy Saturday. Really, I think the highlight was all those cool vintage books, particularly some of those real old ones. Those are a lot of fun to find.